Hey, it's been a while. This is Jonathan. Is this recording my screen? I think it is. It should be. Yeah, things that I completely. Now I already forgot. Yeah. What did I do? Oh, yeah, I changed the filler again. Yeah, minor change. It was a change that I also made in my blog post. I did it in the actual algorithm as well because I realized that I had an unnecessary clone happening. That was actually, yeah, I actually could completely remove a vector cloning, and I actually, I don't think it was even a clone. Like, it wasn't a clone. It was just copying a vector into a linked hash set. I realized afterwards that when I was like writing up the logic and the reasoning for why I was making the decisions I realized that that wasn't necessary at all. It didn't actually have any effect whatsoever. Um, yeah, I think it was for locations even. It was because locations, all I do is I iterate over it. I turn it into an iterator. I call like is accessible and whatnot. I do this collect, and then what do I do afterwards? I just like pop the location. That's it. It really doesn't matter um, if this is a linked hash map or not. It's just better to have it as a vector. So I made that minor change, and yeah, it still works. It's about the same as it's always been, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with that change. So anyway, moving on from that, oh boy. So it's been a couple days since I last recorded, and reason being is because I got distracted by a couple of things. Mostly the Delta rune, which is like a, I don't know, it was made by the same creator of Undertale, and it pretty much just feels like Undertale from what I've played of it. I'm pretty much almost at the end of the game at this point, so yeah, I got distracted by that. Got distracted by a Super Smash Bros. Nintendo Direct, which was honestly not like the most exciting thing in the world, but I can understand that they already made all their big reveals early, and they didn't have any. They kind of ran out of steam at the end there, but I mean it's fine. I'm sure the game will be fine. It'll be fun to play, and you know they already hit us with all the big announcements, so yeah, I can't really complain that there wasn't anything super surprising or amazing at the end. Well, I guess the Piranha Plant announcement was still kind of surprising, actually, but you know, like aside from that, it wasn't like, oh man, I totally want to play all these characters. They didn't pick particularly, I guess, popular characters, but that's fine. They had to reveal these characters at some point because I'm sure they've been in development, or they completed development on these characters a while ago, and they had to reveal them at some point. They just wanted to get the hype rolling early, and they kind of kind of ran out of fuel very quickly. So you know, it's understandable. This is how it is. You gotta manage expectations. It really doesn't help that people started fake leaking stuff all over the hill and dale after after the last direct. So, well, actually, pretty much since the beginning, people always like to come up with these fake leaks. So anyway, that's enough of that. We're gonna continue making a video game. Yes, I'm still using this square.ttf. I haven't fixed that. I haven't come up with my own font file or anything yet. I really should. I really want to, because I don't like that font at all. I don't really like any of the stuff they gave me. In fact, I don't even want this logo transparent. Let's get rid of that right now, because I definitely don't want that in my game. Unless I'm, forced to. Like, oh, you have to put a watermark. Like the typical like free game engine. You gotta register to get rid of the watermark type of thing. Does. Let's see. Delete. Sure. I mean, since it's already open source, I doubt they're gonna make you do like the whole registration thing anyway. So, yeah, I'm pretty okay with just not caring about that too much. And besides, there's other engines out there if I absolutely have to switch, because I've seen GG Easy, and that one looks pretty usable as well. So if I ever got really desperate, I could always switch over to GG Easy or something, I think. And I don't think it would really affect me that badly. Although I say that now. I say that now, but I have no idea what it would be like to actually switch. So, yeah, main menus over here. We... oh man, actually, it's been so long that I actually forgot what I even did. I remember I added a button. Something about a button, and you click it, and it says stuff. It talks to you. Yeah, that's right. You just interacted with the UI element. Definitely not really useful, but it seems like it's necessary to have it here. I don't even remember what causes this to pop up. Is it when you hover over it or when you click on it? You just interact with the UI element. Huh. Yeah, it's been a while. It really has. Alright, let's watch carefully, because that thing scrolls quickly. Okay, yeah, when you hover over it, that's an interaction. And if you hover off of it, yeah, that's a hover stop. Oh! Oh! Oh, 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 oh. So it prints this part first, the prefix here, and then it tells you what the event was. That's what I was seeing. So if I click on it, yeah, click start and then click end when I, or click stop when I let go. Okay, that's cool. Why is there a click start and then click stop? I guess click is when you're holding it, right? Pretty sure that's what that is. Okay, well, I'm perfectly fine with that. Usually this has a different name. Click stop is usually like on release or something. But click stop, I think, makes a lot of sense. I think that's a pretty good name, honestly. Because that is what you're doing. You're not clicking anywhere. You've stopped clicking. Yeah, this is the hover stop, hover start thing. It's I like that. I like what I see. So there we go. I didn't do anything today. I literally just showed off whatever I was playing with last time. Cool. We don't want to do that. What do we want? What do we actually want to do? That's the real question. And also, I don't really like this unwrap. But at the same time, I wonder what you can do about that, if anything. I mean, I guess I could do like the whole pattern match some none thing and get rid of it. I will get rid of those at some point. I don't like seeing unwrap, unless it's like an unwrap or else or something, you know? Those are okay. Unwrap on its own like this, no. I just feel like you should restructure your code so that you don't have to deal with this. So let's say read ID was just initialized above if empty. I don't know what that means. I'll leave that there in case I get some insight and finally understand what that means. So if this is a none, then it will do self.reader ID equals sum. Huh. Okay. Sure. You know what? Yeah, that makes sense. What am I gonna do? I think what I would have done if I had access to like the world here, I would probably like change some kind of thing, pass something over to the state machine state, like this guy, but I can't. So that's not really, yeah, I'm not really clear on what I can do from here. Because we had like a print, you can print the events, sure, that's fine, but that doesn't let you do much. Other than, you know, print the events. It's not really useful. So we have events here. Right, this is all one function, just remember that. And we read Yeah, we read the events in self-reader ID. Okay. Oh. Huh. So they do the unwrap because they do this. They set this thing up here. That's interesting, I guess. So they absolutely want to make sure that this thing cannot be a none by the time it reaches here. Alright. Again, I'm not really sure what this is accomplishing for me, though. I'm gonna have to look back at this, I think. What can I do with this system? Can I actually access anything at all? Because I feel kind of stuck. I don't really have, I don't really feel like I have access to much else from here. I see the event channel. I don't know if I can, like, I don't know, relay events back to some place? I don't know. Would the book have anything about this? Or would it be kind of useless? Okay, functions. Maybe? The channel sounds pretty promising, right? Like, that's what we have here, event channel. But that's... I think that's just for this, though. I don't think that's useful otherwise for anything else. No, I don't know. I actually don't know. Let's go poke around online then. I don't really have any other ideas at this point, and I feel like that's pretty justified. Try and figure out how this works. But where do I begin? Okay. Oh, okay. I actually didn't know this. It's good to know. What else? What am I doing? Why am I here? I need to figure out how to click stuff. And, you know, you do something useful with those clicks. Okay, here's something similar. I see. This is run. Now, this is a system. And that's what I have here. This is an event handler system. So, wow. Transformed. Okay, you know that does actually make sense. So they pass in the transforms here, and then they iterate over the transforms. Yeah, and then they mutate them even. Translation plus equal scale amount. Yeah, okay. That's fair. This'll do for now. That's right, you need to use the delta, don't you? To make sure that stuff doesn't go crazy. Alright. Okay. Why does it go to call for contribution? In this chapter we have blah blah blah. In the next chapter we'll explore another key concept in real-time games time. Does that follow? Oh. The Pong chapter ends here. So this is the part where they would have been talking about time, but they just didn't get around to finishing this. Okay, fair enough. That does answer my question, though. I need to pass in data here. How is that going to work? What's a write storage, transform, read storage? I forget what the difference between read storages, write storages, and reads and writes are. Yeah, I've completely forgotten. Wow. It's been a while. Can we look up specs? Oh, okay, that's right. They have a book for this too, which is awesome. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Alright then. Uh-huh. Oh. Yeah. Let's see, what else am I looking at? Storages, here we go. Yeah, I find myself getting distracted quite a lot when I read books like this, because I'm just like, ooh, look at that, look at that. Stuff I didn't know, but I read it. Those are the different storage types. That's not what I was expecting. Okay, well. Resources, maybe? Maybe, because this is, you'd need to like do, yeah, read and write storage. Okay. The type system, or there's a type of implementing system data specifically for resources. It's called read or write for write access. Okay. Cool, cool. We do need write access, I believe. What am I writing to, though? Because I haven't really thought about that at all. I kind of need to know, because it's cool that it knows that the button is clicked. That's very cool. I'm very happy that it can just detect that really easily, and it's, yeah, it works really well. What kind of sucks is, I have to relay to this that I want to transition to another state. That doesn't seem so easy. Let me think. Yo, how do I even transition to a different state from a simple state? I don't even know how that works. So, for one thing, I need more than this. This isn't gonna cut it. What does the example use? This is just a tuple. Yeah, that's just literally just a tuple. Okay, that's cool. When do I use write storage? Those are for components, right? These are components. Transform and paddle are components. Read, input handler here is a resource. Right, okay. Let's read about resources. Need for your game, and it's not specific to an entity. That's right. So, I don't have a button entity or anything like that. So would it be appropriate to try and change the game state using a resource, is my question. As far as I know, I can't actually like access the button here. I mean, there might be a way, but I wouldn't know. Especially because all I have is world.exec. I give it a creator, creator.create. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, can I make a new thing there? I feel like that's what I would want to do. Don't care about the button builder anymore. That's not really important, so I don't need that. Going back to the examples, I'll look at the palm example again. And it should be in here. Well, they don't transition between states here. Is there a place where they do that? Is there an example where that's done? I feel like there is, but Don't remember where that is. Renderable, maybe? I'm not sure. Basic scene prefab. Okay. Update. Here, simple trans. Match. Okay, self.progress.complete. Huh. Progress counter. Oh, that's for loading. Interesting. So this waits until it's finished loading assets before it switches to a new state. Huh. If let. Oh, okay, that finds the loading and then deletes it. Right. Yeah, you have to like manually delete elements. You have to manage your elements carefully, because if you are to switch between states, you might not necessarily want to delete your entities, in case you want like persistent objects, or like your player character to persist between states. So yeah, you do have to do manual cleanup of that kind of stuff. So you do have to be careful with this engine. I mean, it's not that like that's like necessarily a bad thing. It's just you got to be careful. It gives you more fine control over what you can do, and it's it's not too different from just switching to a lower level language, giving you finer control. Let me think. Oh, this is just like a press the button and change the lights, huh? That's kind of interesting, though. Self.progress complete. So loading just has this in it. I find that really fascinating. Can I like add a button and pass that along somehow? I haven't really thought about this too hard yet. Like, where does the event channel come from? Because that's also not really clear here. Yeah, I'm interested in knowing how do I get something else in here aside from just this event channel. So that's my next goal. We have a... What? I don't think I can just store a variable in the struct definition here. Might be possible. I don't feel like it's a good idea. Yeah, because how would I mutate that? Oh, interesting. They just pass it into creator.create. Huh. Oh, that's this, a progress counter. Ah. Okay, that's not what I expected at all. Fascinating. So you would... Okay, so in more realistically, I guess, if you had loading screens, if you had to wait for stuff to load, which I guess is pretty normal, honestly. Yeah? This makes sense. This actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, so create a progress counter if you want to actually... If you want to load stuff and have like a loading screen. Okay. I can definitely get behind that. Makes sense. Wonder if asset loading happens on like a different thread or not. I would imagine that it would, but especially because it's calling world.exec. I think it is. But yeah, I don't like to make assumptions about like the APIs that are being presented. Alright. So... okay. What if I were to transition from main menu to some other simple state? How would you figure that out? Demo state, okay. Yeah, but where does it get that from? How does it know about demo state? Demo state is this one? No, that's loading. Where is there a demo state in here too? Oh yeah, there is. Let's look for all usages of demo state then, because that gets passed around here. But we have our own special like system just for handling inputs, right? Like they do this on the main thread by doing this match. I think this is the main thread, right? Handle event under I'm pretty sure this is on the main thread. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So well, I'm not even doing like I searched for this thing and then I don't even bother actually using the search that I issued. Good job, me. Right, demo state. Right, storage light. Yeah, but this one, it just knows. It just knows that there's a demo state. How does it know that there's a demo state? Like, how does it get access to this? It's not, like, it's actually clear anywhere. I'm just looking for any potential constructor of the demo state, which I don't see. No, something's wrong. Something's wrong with my understanding of things. I think it might be this default, isn't it? Impl default? Where are you? Impl default for demo state. Alright. Okay, sometimes you want to fall back to some kind of default value and don't particularly care what it is. How do we find default values? You can use the default trait. Derive default. Well, and what does that do? Get all of the default values. What? What does this do? Rust implements default for various primitives types. If you want to override a particular option but still retain the other defaults. Oh, okay. Wait, what are my defaults? In this case, I'm so confused. This example is not very clear. So yeah, I'm creating a default sum options, but what is my default values for foo and bar? Yeah, all the default values. I guess I need to figure out what options defaults are. You implement default, right? You must. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to do the derive, right? Or is it, no wait, no. When you derive, that's when you get the, oh, but no, it has default here, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's here, apparently. Oh, what? Oh, this one, right here. Show me, what is this? Turns a none, that's the default value, got it. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Because that's like the equivalent of null. Where am I? I clicked back and I don't know where I am. I'm lost. I'll just go back here. Alright, fair enough. So this will create some options with two none values, I guess. Would make sense. Wait, these are not options. These are I32 and F32. Okay, well, whatever the defaults are for this. Yeah. See, when they said a set of options, I thought they meant like the option type, not just, you know, like generic options for your menu or whatever. What does this do for me exactly? Or what does this do? How is this going to affect? Oh, not this. The example I'm looking at. So they implement default for demo state. So when you call default, oh, when you call, I guess, demo state default, that must be in here somewhere then, right? There's no other way. Except I went through every usage of demo state. I didn't see any constructors yeah, in other places. Loading default. Example system default. I mean, there's a bunch of defaults all over the hill and dale, but I don't know which one corresponds to demo state, if any. Or is this one? Could this be? No, that wouldn't be it, would it? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. I'm already doing that here, aren't I? Yeah, I am. Okay, no, that's not demo state. Okay, if that's not the demo state default, then what is? And where is it being used, if anywhere? Like, this is the default value that would be returned if you called default, but who calls default for this demo state? Does anyone even do that? Like, I don't see that anywhere. Loading. Could it be something that loading does, or what? So after we load... No, I'm pretty sure I'm very confused still. Example. Scene. Oh, example's a state. Okay, right. Yeah, of course. This, you have to switch to a state. Wow. Where the heck is this default being used? That is today's mission, I guess. Find the default. it's hidden somewhere. But not in this file, I don't think. Let's look up all usages of default. That sounds like the smart thing to do. 12 usages of default. There's one there, another there. Game data builder default. Prefab data default. Example system default. Hot reload bundle default. FPS counter bundle default. Loading default. And then there's this, and that. How does this work? How is this being used? Where is this used? I don't see any place where this is used at all. Demo state is just never created anywhere, is it? That's so weird. But I can't explain how else this would work. Unless someone else instantiates the demo somehow, magically, inside something? I don't know. How is this happening? Where is demo state being used that I have overlooked? I don't know. Simple state, for example. What? No. I'm so confused. It's a struct. You can't just create a struct out of thin air, right? Like, that doesn't work. Okay. Is there anything else here? Returns a default value for a type. Okay, so that's a type-wide thing. Default values are often some kind of initial value, identity value, or anything else that makes sense of the default. Built in the default values. Alright. Like, that makes sense, that these would all be initialized as probably like zeros or false or whatever and whatnot. But someone has to call default. It doesn't make sense if you try to call default and... Oh, this is in main? Does that even run? Can you even run that? I'm gonna say no. Oops, okay, well, it didn't copy. I hit Control C, but it didn't actually do anything. Whatever, don't care. Alright, so, I'm gonna learn something today. Actually, I don't know if I'm gonna learn anything today. But we're gonna try. We're gonna try. Can I implement derive? Or, wow, no, not implement derive. I wanna debug on this guy. Give me the debug. Default. Will it know what to do if I do this or not? Cannot resolve default. Okay. Now if I go let a equal default. Oh, you can pass this into an as an argument because it knows the type of that argument, of course. But in this case, I need to have a type annotation. I'm pretty sure, otherwise it won't know what to do. Oh yes, and also need one of those, of course. Definitely doesn't know what that is. Consider giving A a type. Yeah. You don't say. How's this? A. It's an A. So yeah, that's what I thought I'd have to do to make this work. So that works as I expect it to. This, on the other hand, not so much. How long have I been going? 40 minutes? I don't know. I guess that's long enough. I kind of want to stop because I'm a little bit tired, but at the same time, this is gonna bother me. Where the heck is default being called for this thing? It has to be called somewhere, because otherwise it just doesn't make any sense, right? But then every usage of default is like for other things that aren't this. Unless this loading default returns one of these, that could be it. Because no one said that the... Well, that doesn't make sense, does it? Yeah, because it has to return self. No. That really doesn't make sense at all. No, that it has to be a demo state default. There is no other way around it. I will guess that there's another file. No? What the heck? Or is it this? No, it's not this. It can't be the PNG. I'd be very surprised if the PNG was able to use it. Well. No, I think I'm confused. I think I'm really confused. You don't just like conjure up a demo state out of thin air. I feel like... Wait. Can you conjure up a demo state out of thin air? If you implement default? Does this create a new state only setting this if one hasn't been created before? Because that would be some wacky crazy magic right there. It's the only logical explanation I can think of, though. That might just be it. That could very well be... Is there a way I can test that? I want to test that hypothesis, like, right now. How do I test that? I have to implement a default for some kind of struct. Then I have to... get... I don't know. Somehow get an object of that type and then mutate it? Or like set a field of it? Like, maybe that's what I have to do. Right? Because demo state is just... It's non-existent. It doesn't exist anywhere else. It's spooky. It's like a ghost. It just doesn't... It just kind of disappears. Wow, I actually don't know what to do. Because this is not something I've really encountered before. Yeah, let's try this in the playground, maybe? Yeah, the state gets passed in here. Wow, yeah, look at that. They even passed in the state to this system. I could pass in my state to the system and then mutate it, and then, yeah, I could do that. That would work. It would kind of make sense, honestly. It just like, all depends on how I want to design things, I guess. Let's try this, because I don't have other ideas. I don't have good ideas. Yeah, because these are pretty tame values. How the frick do I get... This is gonna bother me. This is really gonna bother me. Because I cannot... this is unfathomable. Where the heck is demo state coming from? This is a demo state. It's coming from somewhere. Demo state isn't an actual state though. I have to remember that. It's just a struct full of data. Nothing else. Don't think of it as anything special. It's not an actual state that implements, you know, the usual update and everything. It's just a struct. And yet it's so magical because I can't figure out where it went. Where do you get created? Where do you come from? Where did you go? Cotton Eye Joe. I had to do it. I'm sorry. So I'm just scrolling around and kind of flapping about at this point, because what else am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I can't recreate this. Can I? I can't just go like whatever dot light color equals blah and then expect magic to happen. How does one avoid instantiating this object to begin with? Like, that really bothers me. I have no idea. I have no idea. Default trait usage is incredibly rare. Okay. Oh. Having a new method without arguments means that you have reasonable implementation of default. Just calling that new function. And make new call it if new implementation is different to just putting default values in each struct member. Okay. I don't know. I am utterly confused, and the only solution I can think of to this problem that I'm having is to just do what this thing is doing. Embrace the magic that is happening with with this demo state, because there's nothing in here that even remotely resembles a constructor for this being used at all. I'm honestly just kind of astonished. And I give up. I'm just gonna try and copy this thing, and that's what we're gonna do next time. So yeah, there we have it.